Hey, hello guys. Have you ever come across an use case where you need to communicate with an LLM in the local language? So, if that is the case, then in this video I'll explain you on how to communicate with the Gemini in the local language. Like I am Telugu, so I'll communicate it in the Telugu. Okay, and in the next video I'll show on how to add up the tools and how to add human in the loop and all everything with the local language. Okay. So now let me run this piece of code. 2020లో ఐపీఎల్ మ్యాచ్ ఎవరు గెలిచారు?
2020 ఐపీఎల్ మ్యాచ్ ఎవరు గెలిచారు అని మీరు అడుగుతున్నారు. 2020 ఐపీఎల్ను ముంబై ఇండియన్స్ గెలిచింది.
That's it. So this is how we got the response back in Telugu. We communicated even in Telugu. So how do we do that? So let's go ahead and check out the code. Okay. So now if I come to the main method here, if you see the main method, first I'm recording the audio. Now that audio I'm keeping in the buffer, and that input I'm passing it to process it with Gemini. And then once we process that audio with Gemini, we'll get the text in the local language Telugu. And now once we got the local language text, that we pass again it to the Gemini. So generate Telugu speech from text. Again it will ask it to speak out in the local language again. So these are the three methods: record, process it and get the text, and give that local language text to Gemini again and ask it to speak out or respond accordingly as per the question. So that's it. So now if we go at one by one, so what is the first method? So first, this is a helper method. This is a helper method which is used to just play out the audio. See, if you see, we are just using it to play out the audio once we call the Gemini. That's it. And now here, how are we playing out the audio? Using this particular audio segment class. And from where are we using this audio segment class? Using PyDub. This is just a Python package to play out the audio using the microphone. That's it. So we are using the play of audio. So from where this play method coming? From PyDub only. Even 11 labs also have the same play method to play the audio. In case if you have watched my previous videos, you would have got this idea. So now this is the first method, record audio to buffer. So we are just recording it, keeping in the buffer. So how are we recording? Using the local microphone, using again Pi audio module. So if you see, we are having the Pi audio module using this Python Pi audio module. We are just recording the audio. And now if you see, we are just streaming that audio and then we are keeping it in the buffer. If you see, we are just keeping it in the buffer, just a plain vanilla Python code which I got from the LLM. That's it, nothing much. So we are just writing this particular buffer here. That's it. Now this buffer is being passed to the Gemini. So what does this Gemini does? So now if you see client dot models dot generate content, this is how we call the Gemini API. Okay, this is how we call the Gemini LLM using this Python code. What is the client first? If you come up, what is the client? Client, see Gemini.client and API key we have to pass. That's it. So we are just getting the connection to the Gemini using the API, and then dot models that generate content. We have to generate the content. We have this method, and inside this generate content method we have to pass which model we have to use, and then the contents. So we have to pass the contents as a JSON format. If you see, we are passing the audio buffer here. That's it. That is of type audio / wave type. So now this is where we pass the prompt. If you see, prompt the model to respond the question in Telugu with short answer. That's it. So now once we get the response, we are just response.text will return the textual response from the Gemini in the local language only. In case if you have seen the logs, you might have observed here. See, it is this is what the question we have asked, and this is the Telugu language. That's it. Now in the next method, once we have this text, we are giving that to the Gemini again and asking it to speak out in the same local language. So again, while to call the Gemini LLM, we just use the client dot models or generate content, which is a model. If you see, I'm using two different models here. The first model is for speech to text, and this is a model which is supporting text to speech, so TTS. That's why I'm using this particular specific model. That's it. That's it. So now we are passing the content because we have the content in Telugu, right? So that content we are passing, and then we are asking it to speak out using these particular configurations. Using this configuration setting, we are making sure we get the response in the audio format. That's it. So now if you see this particular response dot candidates, using which we are iterating, and we are just calling this particular play audio bytes method, and inside which we are just passing this particular information audio parts. If you see, we are just iterating this response step by step and appending it to audio parts, and then we are just playing that audio using this particular helper method. That's it. So this is how we are able to communicate with the Gemini LLM in the local language. So now in the next video I'll show you on how we can do human in loop, how we can even add up some custom tools as well, like how can it access my local database when I even speak in Telugu and get the information from my local database. All such things we'll do. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.